Hey guys, here we are at 9th part of the story. Weakened to their breaking point, the allied shinobi forces have little chance of survival. The Jubi had fired a colossal Baijudama in their direction. The former Hokage are too busy trying to save them to focus on Kurama and the rest of the Biju's final plan of action. We will see as Naruto and Sakura go back in time to prevent disaster. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. Now, let's jump right in. Sarutobi sat down in his raised seat with Hideyoshi opposite him. The Konoha Shinobi Council was already present with some reports lying in front of them. The Elder Council was sitting on the tier right below the Hokage. Sarutobi and Hideyoshi shared a small smirk before Sarutobi spoke. As you all know, Naruto has led a team of Konoha and Uzu's best and brightest shinobi and Akiri to help the rebels. It took them 3 days to reach the rebel base. Upon arrival, they found the base and its personnel under siege of Yagura's forces. Yagura had sent 2 of his 3 remaining active battalions. I doubt that they had much trouble. After all, Jiraiya and Naruto-sama was there. They themselves can easily turn the tides of any battle, Homura said with a nonchalant expression. Hideyoshi and Sarutobi suppressed a grin. Not really, only Naruto needed to interfere. Jiraiya was saddled with protection detail of the rebel leader. Then I can assume that Naruto-sama had suspected foul play. Am I right, Hiruzen? Everyone narrowed their eyes at the old warhawk. There was no information about a traitor in the reports, so where did Danzo get such an idea? Naruto didn't say anything like that in his report, but I am sure that such a thing can happen. After all, we have seen war, haven't we, Naruto-kun? Hideyoshi said with a chuckle as a muffled laugh rang throughout the room. Everyone but Hiruzen and Hideyoshi tensed for a moment before realizing that it was only Naruto. Danzo, on the other hand, felt a spine-chilling shiver run up his back. He could sense that the presence focused on him. A whisper sounded in Danzo's ear, causing the man to nearly jump out of his seat. "You made a grave mistake, old man. Did you think I won't find out?" With a cold sweat breaking out on his skin, Danzo stuttered out, "I don't know what you mean, Naruto-sama." "I'm sure that you will when I elaborate," Naruto said with a mischievous grin. Danzo narrowed his eyes in a frown that quickly changed into horror as Naruto began speaking. "My fellow council members, Hokage and Fire Daimyo, I have here a scroll written by the team leader of the root team I requested Danzo to send with me to Kiri. Just today, I liberated it from the leader and interrogated him thinking that he was a traitor." Danzo suppressed a shiver. He hoped that Naruto was unable to break his cursed seal, else he was a dead man walking. "What I found was quite disgraceful. The man was completely brainwashed and then a cursed seal was placed on his tongue. The seal's presence prevented the man from speaking." "Yes, Inoki? I am sorry to interrupt, but did you find out how he was brainwashed and by whom?" Naruto frowned before saying, "Through systematic physical and emotional torture followed by mental reprogramming sessions. It was done to both make the man a sociopath and completely loyal to the brainwasher." "Do you have any idea who that is?" Inoki asked with a frown, before eyeing Danzo and saying, "If not, I would love to mind-walk the man. I have completed knowledge of who the person is. It is quite disgraceful that someone of such high esteem would do such a thing to unfortunate kidnapped orphans and forced volunteers from even Konoha's clans." Danzo looked startled as everyone looked outraged at the information. Hideyoshi stood up and declared with anger painting his face red, "Who dares enact such disgraceful actions upon our subjects and unfortunate orphans? Tell us, Naruto Dono, so that we may enact justice." "Why tell you, Hideyoshi Dono? When I can show you," Naruto said as he unsealed a large round wooden table with intricate ceiling arrays carved into the expensive white wood. Then he took out a slat from the side of the table and inserted a ceiling tag into the slot in the slat before reslotting it into the table. This is a device used by the Uzu Council to review mission reports by having the mission recorded into small memory copying seals. The complex array atop the table works like a projector and displays the memory in a floating orb of chakra. "Fascinating," Hiruzen said with curiosity while Danzo was wondering if he should make a break for it or not with a horrified expression. Just as the memory was starting to project, the doors to the room crashed open with the 2 Anbu guards flying into the room and knocking over the table. Everyone turned to the door to see the silhouette of a woman with pigtails with another woman beside her. While everyone else was distracted, Danzo tried to escape only for a cage of 6 glowing bars of light to form around him. The seals seemed to be carved directly into the bars of light with shadows. "Tut. Tut. Tut. That's not nice, Danzo. You really shouldn't try and escape justice," Naruto said, drawing everyone's attention. "Huh? Danzo's being arrested?" The woman at the door asked with a confused tone, causing Hideyoshi to chuckle and say, "Arrest? We think not. We are sure that Danzo is to be executed. After all, he just proved that he is a traitor to Konoha's best interest and a foul excuse of a man. Truly, who would put a child through emotional and mental conditioning? Good to see you back, Tsunade. Just take the Senju seat and enjoy the show, Hiruzen said with a chuckle, causing gasps of realization to escape the other shinobi counselors. You know, we have been here during your granduncle's reign as Hokage, but we don't remember any other Senju kicking down the council chamber doors. Is this a new fashion, Tsunade? Tsunade blushed in embarrassment as she turned to Hideyoshi and bowed. Please forgive my insolence, Hideyoshi-sama, but I was too angry for proper manners. And why were you so angry? Tell us so that we may be satisfied. Hideyoshi ordered as the two Anbu guards stood up and quietly fixed the table before moving out of the room and resealing it. Until recently, I was under the impression that my godson, Naruto, was killed on the night of his birth. It was Sensei who sent the message, Tsunade said with a glare at Hiruzen. Why did you lie to me, Sensei? Did you think me incapable of raising a child? Or did you think he would be better protected? That was not the message Hiruzen sent to you. I was there with Homura and Danzo when Hiruzen told us his intentions of having you raise Naruto-sama away from Konoha until he was of the age to enter the academy, Koharu said, causing everyone to glare at Danzo. Wow. Another black mark. I don't know how people still respect you, Danzo, but you have lost what little I had for you. Not that it was much to begin with, Naruto said with a grin. There is no need for a trial, Naruto Dono. You may execute the traitor, Hideyoshi said with authority, sealing Danzo's doom. Hand over root to me, Danzo, and your death will be painless. Resist, and I get to see what happens when corrupt nature chakra is injected into a normal human. Naruto did with a cold smile, causing Danzo to shudder before ordering, as of this moment, I hand over command of root to Uzumaki Naruto-sama and step down as commander of the division. Fu, Torune, spread the word. Before spreading the word, I would like it if you two would handle the transformation of root into a police force that Konoha is sorely lacking. You have until the Chunin exams. Report to me when I return from Kiri. Until then you report to the Anbu commander. Dismissed, Naruto commanded with authority as two disembodied voices replied, as you wish, Naruto-sama. Now Danzo, it's your lucky day. I was wanting to test out this new offensive seal. Goodbye, Fuinjutsu, Kokujayaka Modori. The seals on the 6 glowing bars of light suddenly flashed a darker black before expanding in a dome around the cage. Danzo, who just closed his eyes and waited. Before he realized, darkness encroached his mind as his soul and body were separated. As Danzo's body slumped in their binds, the 6 bars of light broke up into small motes of light. As soon as the bindings vanished, Danzo's body began to crumble into ash. As the body completely dissipated, Naruto said, too bad for him, the seal is much like the Shiki Fujin. It is powered by a small fraction of Shinigami-sama's power. Those techniques he tried to use with those embedded Sharingan are useless. None can escape the clutches of death. What do you mean, Naruto-sama? When did Elder Danzo gain the Sharingan? Shikaku asked with a frown. And shouldn't you be dead for drawing on Shinigami-sama's power? Tsume asked with confusion. Danzo had multiple Sharingan implants on his bandaged arm and a Mangekyo Sharingan under his facial bandages. He must have harvested the after the Uchiha massacre. Everyone gasped in horror as Naruto continued, I think that there may be more to the massacre than we know. I doubt that Itachi took down his whole clan alone. It's just not feasible. Hell, even I with all my power would have had a hard time doing that without alerting the whole of Konoha. Everyone looked startled at the news as expressions of horror slowly crept into their faces. Only Hiruzen, Koharu, Homura and Hideyoshi's faces didn't carry the looks. Their faces had paled instead as a horrific realization creeped upon them. From the looks on your faces, I can see that all of you realize what I have. I will check the files of Root to find out how much had been Danzo's puppetry. As for how I am alive, the seal doesn't summon Shinigami-sama, only a fraction of his power. The cost for using the seal is a single day of the user's collective lifespan for each soul this seal is used on. It is an Uzumaki Kinjutsu I have recently developed to handle that jutsu I read about in the Scroll of Seals. The one that summons dead shinobi from the pure realm. Hiruzen let out a shocked gasp and said, you developed a Kinjutsu to counter Tobirama-sensei's Kinjutsu summoning? Naruto nodded before Tsunade said, that's all good and well, but can I ask what are you doing here? Last I heard, you were in Kiri helping the rebellion. Oh right. We got completely sidetracked with the plan to force Danzo reveal his treachery, Naruto said only for Shibi to ask, do you mean to say that you had planned to capture Danzo from the start? And why did you take root under your control? Why not have command be placed under sensei? Tsunade asked with confusion. Naruto, Hiruzen and Hideyoshi shared looks before Hiruzen sighed and said, Hideyoshi-sama, Naruto-kun and I have been planning for such an eventuality for some time now. In fact, Naruto asked for a root team from Danzo for this very reason. As for why Naruto-kun took command of root, to tell you the truth, Tsunade, I am an old man now. I am becoming overwhelmed by the amount of work I am having to do. So, as of the finals of the Chunin exams, I shall officially step down and hand over the hat to Naruto-kun. Unofficially, Naruto-kun will become the Hokage as soon as he returns. Everyone looked dumbfounded at the revelation. Everyone but Tsunade expected Naruto to take the hat in the future but not this soon. Tsunade asked, isn't he a bit too young to be placed with such a heavy burden? Hideyoshi and Hiruzen chuckled at the Slug Princess's question before Hideyoshi said, from past actions as daimyo, and how he handled the situation at Nami no Kuni, I can confidently say that if there was someone truly deserving the role of a leader, it is Naruto Dono. After all, how many can say that at the tender age of 12, they have done as much for his people and innocence as Naruto Dono has? Does anyone have any objections with my choice of successor? Hiruzen questioned, only getting negative head shaking from the Shinobi Council and the elders. Hiruzen nodded in satisfaction before saying, keep this between us until I make the official announcement. Anyway, let us return to the reason for the meeting. Naruto Dono, if you will. Naruto nodded to Hideyoshi and said, as you all know, the rebels had a mole amongst them. A mole in quite a high place as well. The mole has been now neutralized. 3/4 of Yagura's forces are neutralized and I have sent a challenge to Yagura to either face me or surrender. He has 1 week left to comply. Haruno Sakura has done an excellent job as an Urionin. Thanks to her efforts, the initial casualty count had dropped from 70% to 3. That's impossible. No one can do that without healing multiple patients at the same time, Tsunade exclaimed, only I can do it, that too only with Katsuya's help. Even then, to get these numbers, I would have fallen into a coma from the strain I would put on my chakra network. Last time I checked, I was the only slug summoner in all the nations. Care to put your purse where you mouth is, Butchin? I am sure that Sakura-chan has surpassed you, Naruto said with a taunting grin. Everyone in the council chambers suppressed a groan. Everyone knows that challenging Naruto was like playing with fire in a paper filled with soaked-in oil. You will get burned no matter how much you play it safe. Tsume particularly knew this well, as because of Kiba's idiocy, the Inuzuka clan owed the Uzumaki a blank favor. She really wished that Kiba didn't try to outdo Naruto and try to sneak into Anbu headquarters only to be caught and had to be saved by Naruto. Really, Gaki? Then what will you owe me when I win? I will place my grandfather's necklace on the line. How about your great-grandfather's personal armor? The shinobi from Hiruzen's generation were startled at the ante. Hiruzen shakily asked, Hoshinki-sama's armor? The armor that is said to be self-adjusting, self-repairing and granted the user perfect chakra control? The armor that was said to be lost? The armor which will fetch enough to buy all 5 great nations at the same time and still leave a sizable nest egg? That's right. You're on. Don't come crying to me when you have to part with such an expensive artifact. Very well. When we return from Kiri, you and Sakura-chan can have a no-holds-barred spar. I hope that you will not crying when you lose. It's not I who will cry, Gaki, it will be you. Naruto nodded with a small grin before continuing his report. Anyways, due to her outstanding performance on the field, I recommend that Haruno Sakura be promoted at least to Chunin. Hiruzen nodded before saying, I will take your recommendation into account when I review her actions. From the letters Jiraiya and Mei-san has sent me, they recommended that Haruno be promoted to Tokubutsu Jonin, specializing as combat Urionin. I will take their recommendation under consideration as well. Please continue with your report. Naruto nodded. The root team has done well in their mission of sabotaging Yagura's supply lines and armory. They have done a top-notch job in infiltrating and gathering intel. Everyone nodded in satisfaction as Naruto continued. Team 9 under Elite Jonin Mitogai are doing a splendid job as a team specializing in finding and extraction of injured from the battlefield. I recommend that they be allowed to participate in the upcoming Chunin exams. I am sure Guy will agree with my assessment that they are ready for the challenge. Splendid. I was hoping they will be recommended for the exams, Hiruzen said with mirth. Anbu, Tora and Nico, I recommend that they be awarded the Spirit of the Forest Medal. 3 days ago, a squad of 12 elite Jonin of Kiri ambushed the supply wagon sent by the Mizu Daimyo and killed the 4 rebel guards. Tora and Nico survived by the quick thinking of Tora, and afterwards they took out 8 of the Jonin, captured 2 and severely injured the 2 who retreated. Thanks to their actions, the supplies were saved. If their outstanding performance during the ambush doesn't deserve a medal, I don't know what will. Your recommendation is taken into consideration. I will review their reports and get back to you later. Naruto nodded. Sai and Sasuke, I recommend that they be allowed to participate in the upcoming Chunin exams as well. If Haruno Sakura is promoted, I would suggest that we induct Sarutobi Konohamaru into the Shinobi ranks and have the 3 perform the necessary D ranks for teamwork training before participating in the exams. Anyo. Naruto-sama, is it wise to put Konohamaru-san into such a difficult exam at such a young age? Choza asked with concern. Naruto's small grin enlarged into a foxy one as he said, I am sure that my apprentice can give the vaunted Ino Shikacho of my generation a run for their money. I'll say he is a prodigy in his own right, but don't let him learn that I said that. He has a bit of an ego after all. No need to feed it. I doubt we want another practitioner of the big head jutsu. Everyone chuckled at the subtle jab at Iruka, who was unfortunately not here to protest. Very well. I will have Iruka administer the test. Konohamaru-kun should become a proud shinobi of Konoha by tomorrow evening. Continue. Zabuza, Haku and Fu have successfully escorted the supplies to the rebels with much trouble. They were ousted by a small group of bandits, a couple of whom were academy dropouts, and the leader was a former Dokubutsu Jonin of Kiri. Zabuza took care of them without fanfare. Hiruzen nodded when Shikaku asked, what about Kakashi? As I said, the Mizu Daimyo has pulled his support from Yagura and is now supporting the rebels. Because of that, I sent Kakashi to protect the Daimyo and his family. A prudent decision, as within 3 days of Kakashi's arrival, he had to thwart 5 attempts, 3 by poison, 1 by illusion-controlled servant and the final by an assassin. Everyone nodded with looks of understanding as Naruto continued, not only that, but yesterday, Kakashi captured some of Yagura's supporters within the daimyo's court and household. Even now, I have sent a Ketsueki Bunshine to help. And Jiraiya's mission? While traveling to the rebel encampment, I sensed a vile presence near our position. As it was underground, I had the team move ahead while I and Jiraiya infiltrated the base using a simpler Earth Ninchu technique. We confronted the snake and nearly captured him, but was able to wiggle out of the predicament by summoning the Hakuja Sennin, who then proceeded to cancel his contract with the Snake Clan. Using a remote-activated reverse summoning seal, he escaped before I and Koshiro-senpai could put an end to him. After that, Jiraiya decided to join us in our endeavors. Everyone nodded, but before anyone could interrupt, Naruto continued, we took care of all the base personnel and captured 2 of Orochimaru's top lieutenants. One of them is suffering from some kind of natural sage transformation but without being able to control himself. The other is a Kaguya suffering from what Sakura-chan said was a degenerative bone disease. He won't make it without extensive therapy. Currently, they are in stasis sealed in human containment scrolls within the Uzumaki compound under the protection of Kanjiki Domon. I have a feeling that I can convince them to join us. Do as you see fit, Naruto-kun. Now is that all? For the moment anyway. Wait a minute, can I ask why put the Kaguya in stasis, especially if he is suffering from the inherent degenerative disease all Kaguya contract at one point in time? I mean, there is no known cure at the moment, Tsunade exclaimed, only for Hiruzen to groan. You are really outdated, aren't you? Sakura-chan has already found a cure. Kanjiki Domon's wife is a Kaguya suffering from the same disease. She is already being treated by the process Sakura-chan has devised. It shows great promise as Honoka-san is no longer coughing up blood and her bone density is returning to Kaguya standards. Tsunade gaped at the news. Until now, even herself had given up hope on curing the Kaguya degenerative disease. To hear a young child develop a cure for what seemed to be an uncurable disease was shocking. That is the very reason why we have appointed Haruno Sakura as the head of the Konoha Ryonin Training Program and Medical Research. The same program you once wished to implement but was turned down due to it being unfeasible during the Third War, Hideyoshi said with a smile. She is a formidable kunoichi, even without her medical prowess. Much like you, in fact, with similar physical strength, using a similar seal to store excess chakra and with outstanding medical abilities. Reminds me of how you were before those tragic events you suffered from, Hiruzen said, causing Tsunade to look at her former sensei with shock. Schooling her features, Tsunade turned to Naruto and asked, so when are you coming back? Now that I hear about her, I am very interested in meeting her. Naruto chuckled and said, a week at most. I advise you train and regain some of your skills again. Being semi-retired for so long, I don't want people to accuse Sakura-chan of defeating you when you were not at your best. The cheeky grin Naruto sported caused a vein to throw on Tsunade's forehead. Growling, Tsunade gritted out, "Don't underestimate experienced Gaki. While this Haruno Sakura may be skilled, experienced shinobi can easily outdo her." "Whatever you say, Butchin." Naruto waved off nonchalantly before turning back to the council and saying, "That's all I have to report for now. Thank you for your taking your time to come and give your report in person, Naruto-kun." Council dismissed. Everyone nodded, and before leaving all of them wished Naruto luck with his upcoming duel with Yagura. After everyone left, only Naruto, Tsunade, Hiruzen and Hideyoshi were left. "Well played, Naruto-kun. I must say, I never expected Danzo to so easily be defeated. He was usually more attentive," Hideyoshi said with a grin. "He didn't expect us to move against him. Besides, it is one for this very reason I had been discussing the academy curriculum with him. I have been subtly enforcing the idea that we were very alike. That made him relax and comfortable with me. He thought I wouldn't have intercepted the messages from his root commander and Kiri and use it against him. He expected me to come to him alone and discuss it in private. That's why he panicked and tried to flee when Butchin stormed into the chambers. You played a very dangerous game, Gaki. One single mistake and Danzo would have capitalized on it," Tsunade said with a frown. "That's why I put up the charade of having the same mentality as him. Anyway, I am sure you would like to rest, so I recommend that you stay at the Uzumaki clan compound. The Senju is sure to be in disrepair. Besides, you have enough Uzumaki blood flowing through your veins for the barrier to allow you in trance without the permission seal. Then there's Moka Oba-sama. I am sure you remember her. She was close friends with your grandmother. I am sure she would love to see more family." Tsunade's eyes widened in shock at Naruto's revelation. "Moko Bakken is still alive? How? I thought everyone in Uzu died." "You'll be surprised at how tenacious we Uzumaki really are. We are like weeds. No matter how much you strive to eradicate us, we will pop up from the most unsuspecting places. Ain't that true?" Hiruzen grumbled under his breath as the four walked out of the chamber. Shizune falling into place behind her teacher. "It's been so long since I have been here last," Tsunade said with misty eyes before her eyes widened in shock at the number of people rushing about. Granted, most weren't Uzumaki, but the few Uzumaki who passed by caused Tsunade to gasp. "Amazing, isn't it? When I started living here, I was completely alone with Sakura-chan staying over from time to time. Now, there isn't a moment of peace." Again Ayako. "Don't get frustrated. The objective of the exercise is to keep calm and let your chakra flow in spirals above your palms and in different directions." Ayako looked up with a frustrated frown as Moka started giving her the same lecture when she saw Naruto walking towards them with a blonde woman. Behind them was a black-haired woman carrying a pig. Jumping up before Moka could finish her lecture, Ayako called out, "Naruto-sama. You're back." Moka just sighed before calling, "All right, class dismissed." Cheering filled the small crowd of children as they stood up and rushed towards Naruto calling out for his attention. "Hey kids! Having fun with Oba-sama?" Ayako pouted, "Oba-sama has been forcing us to practice chakra control. She hasn't been allowing us to practice ninshu." Naruto chuckled, Now Ayako-chan. Chakra control is a very important lesson. If you have better control of your chakra, the larger amount of element you can connect to and the stronger your ninshu will be. So listen to her and practice." Ayako nodded with a pout as Naruto continued, "How is your mother doing?" "Much better. The treatment Sakura-sama assigned her is causing her to recover faster than expected. They say that mother will be able to leave the hospital by next Monday. Then that means she will come home to you in 3 days. I am sure she will love to see how much you have progressed by then," Naruto said with an encouraging smile. "Now run along and make sure to keep the other kids out of trouble. Where's your brother? I was sure I sensed Mokuren here." "Mokuren-kun has better chakra control than his sister. He has already mastered this part. I sent him off to the park with Moegi-kun." "Naruto-sama." A voice called from behind him. Turning, everyone saw Sueren sitting in a crouched position with her head lowered in deference. The girl was wearing black Onbuishi uniform much like his own with a dark navy blue vest. Crystals seemed to be embedded on the vest. On the back was an Uzumaki swirl and on the sleeve of her top was the symbol of a lotus encased in crystal. The girl's shoulder-length hair was tied up in a ponytail with a pair of ornamental chopsticks made of crystal holding it in place. On her forehead was the Yozoshio Hitai-8. "Ah. Sueren. I have something to discuss with you. Meet me in my study within an hour. Bring Konohamaru with you. You may return to your duties." As you wish, Naruto-sama, Swearin said before a cloud of navy blue crystal dust obscured her form. As the crystal dust settled, the girl was gone. Ah. I wish I could be like Suina-sama. Ayako said before a crashing sound filled the compound and then shouts resounded. Ayako's eyes widened in shock before she rushed off towards to commotion. Ayako is quite forgetful, isn't she? Naruto said with a chuckle as Mocha sighed in annoyance. That she is. Reminds me of Midona-sama. She was like her at that age as well. I see that you brought little Tsuna as well. Good to see you well, Su-chan. I hear that you have been moping about ever since your brother and lover died. That is quite unbecoming of someone of your stature. Do you think they would approve of your lifestyle? You do know that you have been dishonoring their sacrifice as well as your grandfather, great-uncle and grandmother's legacy. Tsunade flinched at the calm tone in which Mocha said all this. Keeping her head lowered, Tsunade waited for Mocha to reveal the infamous Uzumaki temper in me for the order woman to sigh and say, anyway, let's keep the past in the past. I hope that you won't be dishonoring them anymore from now on. Now I am sure that you and your apprentice will be living with us, so. Hinajuku-kun. You need me, Mocha-sama? Yuki Hinajuku asked as she walked into the training field with a tray of iced tea. Yes, Hinajuku-kun. Please prepare 2 of the guest bedrooms in the main building. We will be having these 2 fine kunoichi as our guests for the foreseeable future. At once, Mocha-sama. And tell Natsumi-kun to serve tea and cinnamon rolls in Zen Garden. We will be there. And give me the tray, Naruto said, taking the tray without even letting the woman protest and shooing her away. Turning back to Tsunade, Mocha asked with a teasing grin, now Su-chan, don't tell me all that alcohol has addled your mind. Have you forgotten standard etiquette? Tsunade flushed in embarrassment before saying, this is Kato Shizune, my apprentice. She is quite skilled in treatment of poisoning. Nice to meet you, Kato-kun. I hope to get to know you better. Shizune bowed and said, it is an honor, Uzumaki-sama. Are you joining us, Naruto-kun? Naruto shook his head, unfortunately no. I have to. Eve within 2 hours. Before that, I need to meet up with that Jonin from Kusa. I hate idiots like the Kusa ninja. Have fun with the meeting. I am sure you won't have to subdue Kusa. Then again, they were always led by idiots. I remembered Obirama-kun complaining about empty heads filled with dead grass. Naruto was sitting on a luxurious cushion with a plate of expensive meat in front of him. With care, a cook grilled a piece of meat before dipping the meat into a spicy sauce and placing it on his plate. Naruto picked up the piece and ate it with slow bites. Beside him, Hyuga Hinata was daintily eating her own piece. Are the pieces to your liking, Naruto-sama, Hinata-sama? Naruto nodded with regal posture as Hinata said, perfectly done, Yukimura-san. Please continue. In front of the pair sat a fidgeting red-haired red-eyes girl. Beside the girl was an older woman in her mid-30s. Both were wearing Kusa Hitai. Naruto and Hinata kept eating for some time more before Naruto turned his gaze upon the redhead. You are having trouble believing that I am your clan head, aren't you? You can speak freely. Naruto-kun doesn't maintain much decorum with family, Hinata said with an encouraging smile as she took a sip of the expensive sake the restaurant had provided them. Karen and Sachiko looked startled before Karen said in a tentative whisper, I know that your mother was Uzumaki Kushina-sama and your father was Namikaze Minato-sama, but I didn't really believe the rumors that said you look more like your father than your mother. I just expected red hair is all. Naruto chuckled, I may look like my father but I can assure you, I do have Uzumaki qualities. After all, there is a reason my friends try not to anger me. An angry Uzumaki is a dangerous one. I will say. You really didn't need to have Kiba-kun go through that humiliating sequence of events for making an improper comment about Swearin-san. Sachiko and Karen shared an awkward look before saying, if I may, Naruto-sama? You may not, Naruto said with a slightly cold look in his eyes, causing Sachiko to shiver at the blunder. She forgot that not only was Naruto the clan head, but also a daimyo and probably the most powerful shinobi at the moment. Before she could apologize, Naruto spoke. We know why you're here. You wish to hand over Karen to us, but we doubt that's your only motivation. Tell us, what does the leader of Kusa and his council want? We shall see if it is within our power to grant. Sachiko suppressed a shiver. The authority and power Naruto was exuding was nearly overwhelming. Gulping, Sachiko said, my leader and the council wish to offer your highness a chance to open a branch of your clan in Kusa. I see, and why should I need their permission when our fellow daimyo has already sent us a request for that? Mind, our fellow daimyo didn't offer permission but requested us to consider the proposal. So tell me, do your leaders think they are over your daimyo? Ah. Sachiko mumbled only for Naruto to speak. Be gone from my sights. You have insulted us and you have insulted our peer. Be thankful that we don't take action for this insult. Our peer shall learn of this duplicity on your leader's behalf. Karen was startled at the sudden change in behavior from Naruto and started to shiver in fright. Karen feared that he would disown her from her clan. Uzumaki Karen, hand over your Hitae to this woman and join us for lunch. We wish to get to know you better, cousin. Karen took of the Kuza Hitae with shaking hands and handed it over to Sachiko, who took it with a pale face. Depositing the scroll containing Karen's documents into Hinata's outstretched hands, Sachiko quickly stood up, bowed and nearly ran out of the room. Just as she was about to open the sliding door, 2 onbu dropped from the ceiling. Fu, Torune. Make sure that Sachiko-san leaves Konoha immediately. Both nodded before grabbing Sachiko by the arms and vanished in a swirl of leaves. Karen watched dumbfounded at the scene before Hinata started giggling. Don't be afraid, Karinzen. Naruto-kun isn't like this most of the time. It's just idiots like them gives me a headache. Going behind the back of their daimyo. Granting permission to a different daimyo. Only the greatest of idiots make such blunders. Kuza is lucky that I am a very laid-back kind of guy, otherwise I would have already declared war on Kuza with my allies following suit. Anyway, tell me about your abilities, Karen-chan? Anyo. I am a sensor with a range of nearly 2 miles. When I focus, I can see the world in gray and blue. Naruto nodded. Then tell me, what do you see a mile south by southwest of here? In that little park. Karen looked surprised and asked, are you a sensor as well? What's your range? Not like you. My sensory skills comes from Senjutsu. As for my range, passively, I can sense 5 miles actively, more than 50. Karen's eyes bulged out in shock. I didn't know that there were sensors with such a huge range. Naruto grinned. I am awesome like that. Now tell me. What do you see? Karen nodded and closed her eyes before clasping her hands into a tiger seal. After a moment, she spoke. There are 5 kids, 2 male and 3 female playing ninja. One of the girls have a large chakra reserve that feels like ours. That's enough. I realize what you have. The sensory ability is called Kagura Shigan. Your gift is particularly strong. Anything else? I was Trang as a Ryonin. My chakra has higher yang concentration than most that allows me to heal people by having them bite me, Karen said with a slight blush. That's rare. Very few has such a strong yang affinity. Moko Bakken will be interested. Anything else? Sometimes I can manifest chains made from my chakra. Splendid. It seems that the Kongo Fusa ability isn't lost. Moko Bakken was afraid it was lost with my mother. Anyo. Naruto-sama, are there more Uzumaki alive? I heard a rumor that there were more Uzumaki living here. Karen asked with hope. Sure there are. I personally went out and found them. In fact, I believe that there are more out there, hiding. Now let's finish our lunch before we head to the compound. I still have a meeting with my apprentice and a clan retainer. Help yourself. Karen nodded with a small smile before looking up in realization. You have an apprentice? I thought you were a Jinan. Naruto chuckled. I am awesome like that. Hinata smiled and said, Naruto-kun had been promoted a few weeks ago. As for having an apprentice, he has been training many shinobi, Anbu and Hokage-sama included ever since he graduated. Karen looked gobsmacked at the revelation before Naruto coughed and motioned for her to start eating. Shaking her head, Karen smiled and started eating with the couple. Naruto walked through the compound with a purpose. Hinata and Karen behind him. They walked towards the back of the compound, towards the training fields. As they approached the fields, they saw Tsunade training with Mocha. The blonde medic was barely able to come close to the wizened Uzumaki elder. 4 long glowing yellow chains were writhing about behind her and attacking the blonde woman with impunity. Karen gasped in shock and awe, drawing the 2 sparring women's attention. Ah! You must be Karen-kun. Welcome home, child. I am Mocha, you can call me Oba. Senju Tsunade. A cousin by my grandmother. Nice to meet you. Karen's eyes widened in shock. It seems that ever since she came to Konoha, she has been shocked more times than she can remember. Uzumaki Karen. It's an honor to meet both. No need for such formalities outside official meeting and events. We are family, Naruto said, clasping the girl on her shoulder, and smiled encouragingly before turning to Tsunade. Oi-butchin, she is a medic in training with Kagura Shigan, Kongo Fusa and High Yang Affinity. I am sure you understand. Mocha and Tsunade looked at the girl in shock. Three of the most powerful abilities a Uzumaki can possess, and she has all three. They could see it now. The massive potential, if realized, will make her rival monsters like Hashirama and Madara, with proper training of course. Butchan, Abu-chan, I want you both to train her personally for the upcoming Chunin exams. I am sure she's up for the task. Are you sure, Naruto-sama? I don't want to dishonor the clan by underperforming. I don't think I am ready. Karen asked with uncertainty. Naruto smiled and said, don't worry about it. That's why I want you trained by these two awesome ladies. I am sure that by the time they finish, you will be a formidable kunoichi. Karen nodded with a nervous smile as Mocha asked, are you going to stay for tea, Hinata-kun? If it's not much trouble. No trouble at all. In fact, I believe that we need to spend more time together. After all, in the near future you will be a member of the clan. A main branch Hyuga marrying outside the clan without the caged bird seal? Tsunade asked in shock. That's right. I am Hyuga Hinata, present heiress of the Hyuga clan and Naruto-kun's fiancé. Nice to meet you, Tsunade-sama. Fiancé? Gaki. What are you doing? You're only 13 years old, Tsunade exclaimed with incredulity. Honoring a verbal agreement between our parents. Besides, I am a daimyo. Being engaged to Hinata-chan protects me from persecution by my fellow daimyo. After all, I am subjected to the daimyo CRA law. Oh right. I completely forget about it. The Shinobi CRA was based off that one. Being betrothed prevents others from forcing you to marry girls of their choice. You do know that only a single fiancé won't protect you forever, right? Don't worry about the future. Think about the present. I have a lot of time to search for suitable brides. See you later everyone. Konohamaru and Swearin are outside my study. Swearin and Konohamaru were standing outside the study when Naruto appeared in a yellow flash. Walking into the room, Naruto motioned for the duo to follow. After sitting himself behind the desk, Naruto turned to the two and said, Konohamaru, I have recommended that you be inducted into the Shinobi ranks. Tomorrow is your graduation exam. After that, you will be performing D ranks with some Junon teams. This is because I have recommended that you be allowed to participate in the upcoming Chunin exams. You shall be replacing me on Team 7. Practice hard and make me proud to be your master and friend. You can count on me, Shiso. Even if I hate D ranks, I will finish them with perfect records. Naruto nodded before turning to Swearin. I am going to be recommending you to be in the Chunin exams as well. Your teammates will be Yuki Haku and Uzumaki Karen. The latter of whom has just rejoined the clan. I am leaving behind clones while I am in Kiri to help train you. Here, catch. Swearin and Konohamaru looked surprised but easily snatched their respective scrolls. Seeing the questioning looks, Naruto explained, that contains the kata's and I developed for better control of Earth. Practice and perfect them at your leisure. They will help with your bending. Thank you, Naruto-sama. I will not let you down. By the time you return, boss, I will be a master in it. Naruto nodded with a smile before saying, bold words, Konohamaru, since I will be back by next Wednesday. Train hard, you two. And Swearin, have you tried manipulating crystal dust? Swearin's eyes widened in shock as Naruto smiled and vanished into thin air. Konohamaru and Swearin were practicing the new katas under the strict supervision of a clone of Naruto when Karen and Tsunade approached them with interest gleaming in their eyes. Yo Butchan, Karen-chan. Come to watch Ninshu practice? Naruto asked, causing a confused look to grace both their faces. Ninshu? Is this what this style of Daijutsu called? Tsunade asked with curiosity, causing Naruto, Swearin and Konohamaru to laugh. Tsunade and her red-haired companion just looked even more confused as a vein throbbed on Tsunade's forehead. Calming themselves, Naruto said, sorry about that. I forget that the concept of Ninshu has not been heard since the time of the Rikudo Sennin. Ninjutsu is a bastardized version of Ninshu. Ninshu is the art of communication through action. It is both a physical art as well as spiritual. While ninjutsu requires a large amount of chakra being expelled from the body after molding, Ninshu uses the chakra to forge a connection with the very elements themselves. An adept user like Sakura-chan can use their connection to the elements to perform impressive feats of healing or harm. Let me show you. Konohamaru, Swearin, come at me with the intent to kill. Without even hesitating, the duo charged at Naruto. Fire spilling from Konohamaru's fists while crystals and rocks floated about Swearin. Jumping up, Konohamaru kicked towards Naruto, causing a wave of blistering hot flames. The interesting fact was that the flame was predominantly yellow but with streaks of different colors flowing through them. At the same time, Swearin slammed a fist into the ground, causing a jagged wave of rock spikes to fly towards Naruto. Tsunade and Karen watched in awe and shock at the skill on display, not to mention the ability to use the elements without hand seals. Both were concerned when the flames engulfed Naruto right before the spikes flew through the flames. There was a small explosion causing both Karen and Tsunade to cry out in shock. Swearin dropped her guard and feared that she had hurt Naruto, even if it was only a clone, but Konohamaru narrowed his eyes before jumping back and throwing his arms out in a circular motion, releasing waves of blue electricity. The three girls gasped in horror at the young Sarutobi's audacity when the electricity was redirected towards the boy. The three girls looked shocked at the sequence of events as Konohamaru raised a block of earth to intercept the redirected lightning. As the block exploded, Konohamaru tried to jump back only to find that his body didn't obey. Beside him, Swearin found herself in a similar quandary, only in her case, it was the very air that was holding her captive a couple of inches above the earth. A clapping sound filled the training field as the smoke and dust obscuring Naruto cleared to reveal him completely untouched. Naruto had a massive grin on his face as he said, "Good job you two. Swearin, your habit of lowering your guard is a very dangerous habit. You need to break it. Otherwise, you did well for someone with very little formal training." Swearin nodded as Naruto gently let her down before turning his attention to Konohamaru. "Excellent job, Konohamaru. Your mastery of fire is coming along nicely. A true prodigy in both skill and hard work. Lightning generation is something I have yet to teach you, but that didn't stop you from learning it. While it was a good attempt, you need to learn to direct the lightning into a more focused beam. It was too spread out and easy to redirect it. Keep practicing. You focus on earth more from now on. You did well in your first true attempt during a fight, but the speed needs to improve. Now get practicing the katas. They are for a style of defensive earth bending. I can already see you favoring it." "Sure thing, boss," Konohamaru said with a bow as he felt control of his body return to him. "How? You should have not escaped unscathed," Karen asked with confusion. "The flames were hot enough to instantly barbecue a human body. And how did you three manipulate the elements without chakra usage?" "Karen is right, Naruto. How did you survive?" "Simple. I bended the very air to my will and created a field of vacuum around me. The top layer of the vacuum had the air churning in such a way that it redirected the flames away from me. The earth and spikes struck the vacuum and were pulverized." "Karen, the art of ninju is far more complicated than ninjutsu. As I said, ninju forges a connection with the elements by using chakra flow as the medium. There is no direct usage of chakra. The larger the chakra reserves, the larger amount of element one can connect to." Karen nodded when Tsunade said, "Ninju seems very powerful. Much more so than ninjutsu. How did you redirect the lightning?" "Easy, I absorbed the lightning through one arm, flowed it through my chakra center and redirected it up my other before releasing it again." Tsunade and Karen stared at the boy in shock. Absorbing a jutsu was unheard of, but to absorb the very element itself and then redirecting it, preposterous. Unfortunately, they had proof of it happening right in front of them. "If you are interested, I can teach you both," Naruto said with a cheeky grin. "I would advise that you both the offer into careful consideration, especially you, Karen." "Naruto has decided that ninju will replace ninjutsu for all Uzu Shinobi," Mocha said walking up to the group. "Too bad Jiraiya didn't accept his offer. I am sure that he would have been formidable, especially with his inclination to earth and air." "I will think about it, Obasama," Tsunade said with a thoughtful expression while Karen looked Konohamaru and Swearin before turning to Naruto and saying, "I am not really a fighter, but I will make sure not to dishonor the clan." "That's all I ask," Naruto said before turning back to Konohamaru and Swearin as Tsunade, Karen and Mocha left. "Naruto-sama. Yagura has accepted your challenge. He has agreed to meet you at the Northern Marshes 3 days from now," Mei said with a bow. Naruto stood up from his meditative state and nodded. "That's good. I was afraid that Yagura wouldn't accept." "Our thoughts exactly, Naruto-sama. Jiraiya-sama has been urging us to prepare for a hostile takeover." Naruto shook his head in exasperated fondness. Can't blame him. He is a veteran of 2 wars after all. Very few have true experience like that. Luckily, we don't have to be pessimistic this time. Mei nodded in agreement. "Who are you taking with you as your witnesses to the duel?" "I was hoping that you, Ao and Chojuro would accompany me along with Jiraiya, Sakura-chan and Nico." Mei felt honored at the request. She didn't expect Naruto ask her to be one of his witnesses. "We will be honored to accompany you, Naruto-sama, but are you sure Yagura won't ambush you?" Naruto chuckled, "Oh. I already know that he is going to ambush me. Team Alpha has done a fine job gathering intel. He will place 500 of his most loyal shinobi under the command of his Anbu commander. They will hide in the mists and await the opportunity to attack me. Unfortunately for them, I already have a plan to deal with the idiots. There won't be much collateral damage as well. Yagura will be defeated as quickly as possible." Mei looked unsure about the plan but nodded in deference to Naruto's decision. "Good riddance, I say. Yagura doesn't deserve mercy. Not after what the monster did." Naruto clicked his tongue in annoyance, causing Mei to look startled at Naruto's sudden bad mood. Don't condemn someone without knowing their background. Have you thought that Yagura may be under control of someone? Mei nodded with shame. "I have, but even if that's true, the people of Kiri will never suffer him to live. Not after what he has put them through. Then have him be hidden. If I can free him from the control and fake his death, then have him as a personal Anbu guard. Keep him close. He would be a fine ally. An ally who is a complete wild card. Besides, you won't have to retrain another Jinchuriki. You already have a cage-ranked perfect Jinchuriki." Mei nodded in agreement. "Will you be able to do that?" Naruto's face adopted a foxy grin as he said, "Who knows, but I will try." Haku, Fu, Sakura and Tenten were sitting at a secluded table in the mess hall having lunch when Naruto walked in with Zabuza, Guy, Neji, Lee, Sai, and Sasuke. As they entered, a respectful silence came over the gathered Kiri rebels. Many, having finished their lunch, stood up and left but not before bowing to Naruto. Seeing that many more were getting up to leave, Naruto addressed the group and said, "No need to get up and bow. Please continue with your lunches." They all nodded with respect before turning back to their food. "Oi Naruto. It's surprising to see you in here. Don't you normally have lunch with Mei-sama?" Sakura called out, getting a chuckle from Naruto's group. "Can I have the urge to spend time with you four young ladies? Beautiful ones at that," Naruto said with a teasing grin, causing a blush to form on Haku, Tenten and Fu's faces. Sakura on the other hand shook her head in exasperation. "You really have changed, Naruto. There was a time you wouldn't realize if a girl was flirting with you. Now I find you flirting yourself." "What do you mean? I don't remember about any girls flirting with me. Anyway, I have good news. Danzo's gone. Root is under my control." Sakura looked startled at the news. "When? How?" "This morning. I went to Konoha myself to deliver this week's report." The treacherous fool exposed himself without even realizing it. "Anyway, Haku, I have recommended you to be in the Chunin exams. Your teammates will be Sueren and Uzumaki Karen, a Jinan from Kuza who was transferred to Uzu as his proper. I will not let you down, Naruto-sama," Haku said with a bow. "Team 9, at my recommendation, Guy has decided to allow you three in the Chunin exams as well. Start preparing. We will be back in Konoha within the week. Make us proud, my youthful students. I have no doubt that you all will do well," Guy said with unshed tears. The three members of Team 9 bowed to the two and replied, "We will be sure to bring you honor, Sensei, Naruto-sama." Sakura, Naruto sighed before saying, "You have been recommended for a field promotion from multiple separate sources including me. I have no doubt that you will at least be awarded the rank of Chunin. The decision is pending the Hokage's review of all the reports. Furthermore, Senjutsu Nade has returned and decided to test you in your skills as a combat medic. Prepare for a serious spar after we return to Konoha." Sakura nodded with narrowed eyes. She had a feeling that Naruto's actions were behind the spar. "Then I guess Team 7 isn't going to be participating this time," Sasuke sighed in disappointment. Zabuza and Guy shared an amused look as Naruto said, "Unfortunately for you, Sasuke, you will be taking the exams with Greenhorns. Kakashi has recommended you for the exams." Sasuke's eyes widened in shock at the information as he groaned, "Oh great. I have to babysit brats." "Not really, your teammates will be Sai and Konohamaru." "What? But Konohamaru is still in the academy," Sakura exclaimed in shock. "With the new curriculum, Konohamaru is more than ready to graduate. In fact, his graduation exam is tomorrow. I am sure that my apprentice will be a good asset to Konoha." Sasuke released a sigh of relief before realizing his situation. With a look of horror, he turned to look at Sai. Seeing the look, Sai said, "Don't look at me like that, dickless. I am not into men." Everyone started laughing at the Uchiha's expense as said Uchiha grumbled about how unfair life is to him. Nico and Tora were sitting under a tree sharpening their Anbu Ishu Tanto when Naruto walked up to them. "Nico, you will be accompanying me to the duel side along with Jiraiya, Sakurakin, Mei. Ao, and Chojuro. Tora, I want you to create a few sensory plants around the camp. I have a feeling that Yagura won't keep to the rules of dueling. Both nodded and Naruto turned to leave. Just before disappearing, Naruto said, "You both have been recommended for Spirit of the Forest medal." Tora, Danzo croaked this morning. "Root is under my control now." Nico and Tora looked startled at the revelation, but before they could ask, Naruto vanished into thin air. A dark-skinned man with very prominent muscles was working through the massive pile of papers on his desk when a fair-skinned girl with blonde hair and blue cat-like eyes walked into his office with a look of anger on her face. Looking up from his paperwork, he took one look at the girl's face and a shiver passed down his spine. Shaking off the feeling, the man asked in an irritated tone, "What is it, Yugito? Don't you see I have much work to do?" The girl narrowed her eyes and said in a cold tone, "Don't care. How could you do that to me, uncle?" The man looked confused before his eyes widened in realization, "You know? Yep." The man sighed before saying, "It's not completely assured, Yugito. We don't know if he will accept, and we can't force him to do anything. On the contrary, it is more probable that he will force us to submit to his will." "That doesn't mean you can use me as a bartering chip," Yugito all but shouted. A cold killing intent wafting off of her. "And Samui? Why included her? And who is this man that causes the famed Yondaime Raikage and his council to wag their tails and suck up to the bastard?" The Raikage chuckled in amusement before saying, "Actually, Samui is being added as a choice. She is after all closer to his age. As for who the person is, to tell you the truth, he is a powerful young daimyo. We are shinobi. From when did we start kissing the asses of those stuck-up princes?" Yugito snarled when he threw her a bingo book marked with a bookmark. Opening the book to the marked page, Yugito's eyes widened in shock as realization set in. Looking up at the Raikage, she asked with a stuttering tone, "He is to be one of ours, husband?" He nodded as Yugito said, "But he is just a child. And I am sure that he is arrogant as well. So much power at the hands of someone so young." "He isn't arrogant, Yugito. He has earned his reputation. Read this report from our spies in Nami no Kuni and then tell me your thoughts on him. If you still think him arrogant, then I will withdraw your name from the proposal," he said as he handed over a file that he took out from his desk. He returned back to his paperwork as Yugito pursued through the documents. After finishing, Yugito stood silently and pondered the information she received. It was nearly half an hour later that she finally spoke. "All right, I agree that he is not arrogant. In fact, I believe him to be the humblest and kind-hearted daimyo in existence, let alone a shinobi. But is he really that much of a threat that you would sell one of us off in a political marriage? He is very honorable. I believe that if neither of you wants to marry him, then he won't hold it against Kumo. The marriage proposal is just an excuse to get into a closer relationship with him, Konoha and the reforming Azashiogakuer. There is also another reason to include you. There are some in the council who doesn't like you. I fear that they may try something one day. With you being a candidate, they would be more cautious of sending you on a suicide mission like last time. I did it to protect you, Yugito. I never meant to hurt you," he said with a sad smile. Yugito looked at the man with skepticism before nodded, "All right, I understand. Can you tell me one thing, is he really strong, or is it all propaganda?" He smirked and said, "His father was strong. Ending a whole battalion of elite shinobi is not easy. Even I don't think I can do it. To subdue the same without killing, unheard of. He is far stronger than his father. In fact, I believe that if both met in battle, I will put my bet on the sun. Now get going. I still have a lot to do." Yugito nodded with a slight smile as she thought to herself, maybe it won't be such a bad idea, even if she had to share him. She just hoped that Samui was as understanding as her. Hearing the door to his office close, he let out a sigh of relief. He really thought that Yugito would have practiced her clawing skills on his face. He knew who was responsible for the information leak and he promised himself that he will punish the fool as he growled out, "When I get my hands on Yubi." Naruto, Mei, Chojuro, Ao, Jiraiya and Nico walked towards the meeting place in the middle of the swamplands. Sakura was also there, but instead of walking, she was using earthbending to follow them underground. As the group neared the appointed place, they saw that Yagura was already there with 3 members of his shinobi council. "I am surprised that you didn't try and ambush Yagura. It seems that all hope isn't lost for you yet," Naruto said with a mocking grin. Yagura just glared at the boy before saying, "I am not an uncouth barbarian like those you support. Shall we get on with it?" "Really? Then who are the presences I sense scattered about the swamp?" Naruto said, getting a confused look from Yagura. At the same time, the three counselors were sharing nervous looks and fidgeting. "Oh, you don't know? Then it seems that your counselors have their own agenda, isn't that right?" The three counselors shivered in fear. Yagura may have let them do anything they wanted, but they knew that Yagura didn't take kindly to anyone other than himself ordering his troops. Before they knew what happened, spikes of coral had pierced their hearts. Just before they lost consciousness, they saw Yagura's usually impassive face sporting an angered expression. "Forgive me for the insult. I didn't expect my counselors to go behind my back. In fact, I had ordered all my troops to stand down and await the results of our duel under the pain of death. Please allow me to correct the mistake." Naruto saw Yagura bow to him with an impassive face, only for Yagura's Anbu commander to appear and attack Yagura, only for the earth infron of the Mizukage to burst forth and reveal a pink-haired girl fly out and punch the man in the sternum. Everyone watched as a shockwave erupted from the point of contact before the man's body flew back with a massive hole in his chest. As the Anbu commander died, a massive shout erupted from the surrounding forests as a battalion of 500 Kiri Shinobi charged forward with intent to kill. Before anyone realized what happened, a 6-point red barrier formed around the duelists and their witnesses. "Yagura, see how many are traitors and how many are just following their superiors' orders," Naruto stated with a grin as he handed the Sanbijin Churiki a seal. Seeing Yagura's confusion, Naruto mimed placing it on his throat and speaking. Nodding, Yagura placed the seal on his throat and activated it before speaking. "All Kiri Shinobi. I, Yagura as your cage, orders you to stand down and retreat. Await the results of the duel. Any who disobey me will be treated as traitors regardless the outcome of the duel. I repeat, stand down and retreat." Deactivating the seal, Yagura handed it back to Naruto with a grateful nod and waited for the loyal shinobi to retreat. At the same time, the shinobi closest to the barrier started trying to break it down with a barrage of jutsu. After 5 minutes, Naruto sighed and said, "It seems that only 3/5 of the battalion retreated. The remaining 200 are traitors. Do you mind if we handle the situation?" "Go ahead. It's not like I have an inclination to save them." Naruto nodded before turning to Sakura and nodded. With a grin expression, Sakura nodded and vanished into the earth before reappearing in the middle of the attacking shinobi. Before the Kiri traitors could react, Sakura took a deep breath before stomping the ground. Spikes of earth erupted around the girl, easily piercing the surprised Kiri shinobi. Before they could react, Sakura jumped forward and punched the ground, causing a shock wave to erupt, throwing back the Kiri ninja. Straightening up, Sakura took a deep breath before the diamond on her forehead glowed and spread around her face and arms. Looking up, Sakura grinned before stomping the ground, causing large chunks of earth to float around her. Looking around, she saw the Kiri ninja prepare to throw jutsu at her. Throwing her arms forward, the large boulders flew forward and crashed into the surprised ninja. At the same time, the ninja flanking her threw some water ninjutsu at her, hoping to take her by surprise. Making a waving gesture, Sakura took control of all the water jutsu around her and caused the water to flow around her like a serpent. Shaping the water into multiple tentacles, Sakura caused them to whip out at the shocked shinobi. The shinobi just looked surprised as their jutsu were turned against them in an instant. The whipping of the water caused many sharp blades of water to rain down upon the surprised shinobi. The most shocking thing was that the water froze into ice as they flew at the shinobi. A few were able to jump away or use the kawarimi to save themselves, while the rest were left bloody and dying on the field. Raising her fist, Sakura drained the blood out of the dying ninja and directed it into a ball of frozen blood around her just as multiple fire jutsu struck her position. When the flames dissipated, the Kiri shinobi were shocked to see the blood sphere still standing. Before they could realize what was happening, cracks appeared on the frozen blood. A dull orange glow could be seen from inside the sphere before the sphere suddenly vaporized, revealing a sphere of flowing lava. Mei, Yagura, Ao and Chojuro gasped in shock as Sakura manipulated a massive quantity of lava and used it to easily wipe away nearly half of the remaining forces, all of whom were stunned at the revelation of someone manipulating lava to such a degree. Turning to Naruto, Mei asked, "Does Sakura-san wield the Yotan Kekai Genkai like me?" Naruto laughed and said, "Not really. She doesn't have any Kekai Genkai at all. What you see is her mastery of Earth ninja, allowing her to control Earth. After all, lava is Earth as well. Just in a molten form." Mei sighed with exasperation and turned her attention back to the one-sided slaughter the pink-haired Kunoichi was doing. Something Mei didn't even expect from the medic. Letting the lava direct the surviving traitors into a single group, Sakura smirked before jumping up with a pillar of earth, helping her gain even more height. The shocked traders shivered in fear as the pink-haired girl vanished in the glare of the sun. Taking defensive positions, the lava restricting their ability to flee, the traders waited for the girl to crash down in between them. Unfortunately for them, Sakura had a different plan. Pulling back her fist, a pale blue glow covered it as she threw it forward. An invisible shockwave erupted from her fist. As Sakura was dropping on towards the ground, she saw her shockwave strike the unsuspecting group and flow through their bodies before striking the ground, causing a small crater to form under the group. Right as the crater formed, the bodies of the traders turned to a thick red mist of blood with pale pink pieces of flesh and organs slowly falling within it. Chojuro, Nico and Mei vomited at the brutality of Sakura's fight. To see human bodies disintegrate from a mere shockwave is not something even shinobi of their caliber can easily handle. Beside them, Ao and Yagura looked a bit queasy but held their urges in. Only Naruto and Jiraiya didn't react to the scene as they watched a pillar of earth rise and catch the airborne Sakura before she could fall into the blood mist. Making a gesture, the pillar surfed over the swampy land towards the barrier holding them in. As the pillar reached closer, it merged with the ground before Sakura came to a stop right in front of the barrier, standing on solid ground. As Naruto released the barrier, Sakura walked towards them, causing the recently recovered Mei, Nico and Chojuro to flinch at the pink-haired medic's presence. Looking over the girl, Jiraiya said, "Ha. Now I am glad that Tsunade became lazy after leaving Konoha. Naruto, remind me not to get caught by your friend doing research. I really don't think that I want a beating by her hands." Naruto chuckled as Sakura smirked as Jiraiya continued, "Damn girl, what kind of training did the two of you do before graduating? Better yet, what have you been eating, because I want some. I must say child, you are truly a brilliant kunoichi. If only I had a few shinobi like you under my command. Then my men and women would have painted the mists red as Sakura-san has done with the traders." Yagura, Mei sneered in contempt. "Let us dispel with the pleasantries and get to the point of the meeting. Yagura, let us face off after you have regained your composure. Jiraiya, take these 4 kunai. The seals on them are already charged with chakra. I am sure you know what to do. All of you move away about a mile towards Kiri. You have 5 minutes before we duel," Naruto said with a commanding presence as he handed Jiraiya 4 kunai. With a grim nod, everyone headed off towards Kiri while Yagura and Naruto closed their eyes and waited until the 5 minutes were over. While they waited, Naruto quietly said, "If you want to even have a chance to win, come at me with your Inisabu's full strength from the start, or else, I can assure you that you will lose. Horribly as well. Then again, on second thought, don't. It will be easier for me to defeat you." Yagura opened his eyes and glared at Naruto with his eyes glowing an angry red right before he said in a cold tone, "My. Aren't you confident? Aren't you overestimating your abilities? How can you be so sure that you will win no matter what? Who knows? But, if I was you, I would take my advice," Naruto said with a grin before he became serious as Yagura nodded stiffly as he was covered in a cloak of bubbling red chakra taking the form of a turtle with 3 tails waving behind him. Yagura let out a growl before the chakra cloak started enlarging with Yagura being in the recently formed head. The red chakra solidified into a gray skin and shell of a massive 3-tailed turtle. Opening its mouth, the turtle started gathering yin and yang chakra into a super condensed ball of chakra when Naruto raised his right hand and pointed his palm towards the Sanbi Yagura. With a grin, Naruto called out, "Bakudo, Hyakuyari." A white glow encompassed Naruto as the light around the Sanbi Yagura started condensing into thick large spears before, in a blink of an eye, all the spears drove through the Sanbi's body and into the ground, bring down the beast with them. At the same time, the technique seemed to have arrested the Sanbi's ability to mold and manipulate chakra, causing the Bijudama to dispel. With another grin, Naruto raised his hand up again and snapped his fingers causing the air to glow with esoteric kanji causing everyone, excluding Naruto, to lose all control of chakra. The seal also had an added effect of forcing a Bijou back into its prison. As such, the Sanbi was back inside Yagura with the chakra cloak fading into the air. Yagura looked shocked and afraid as Naruto raised his hands up before bringing them down. At first, Yagura didn't realize what happened but suddenly, he felt his body being pushed down. It took a few moments, but by the time Yagura realized what was happening, he was already on his knees as the air around him took on a sliver sheen and started swirling into an orb of opaque winds. A hidden observer was watching the battle with a calculating expression. This was very concerning developments for the observer's plans. Naruto was too powerful to be easily caught. The observer watched as Naruto raised his arm and made a fist causing the sphere of opaque wind to collapse, causing a bloody red mist to form. The observer narrowed his single visible eye as he felt his control on Yagura's mind break. Nodding to himself, the observer was about to leave when Naruto vanished into thin air. This caused the observer's eye to widen in shock as he felt the sudden presence behind him. The observer turned to see Naruto grinning as a translucent shimmering field was covering the boy in an oval barrier. Jumping back, the observer took a cautious stance and asked, "How can Tobi be of service?" "Because Tobi's a good boy, Naruto-sama." Naruto's grin widened as he chuckled a bit before speaking. "We both know that you are faking the behavior, Tobi. Or, should I call you Uchiha Obito?" The observer was surprised at what Naruto said but kept it well hidden as he asked, "Tobi doesn't know what Naruto-sama means?" "Now, that's not very nice, Tobi. You shouldn't lie. If you do, then you aren't a good boy, are you?" Naruto said with a predatory smirk causing Tobi to shiver in fear. Deciding that he wouldn't be able to fool Naruto, Tobi decided to drop the act. "So you found out my secret, but may I ask how?" Naruto just smirked and said, "You can. But it doesn't mean that I will answer. I am sure that you will understand. After all, if I ask why you betrayed my father, who was your sensei, his family, your teammates, your village and most of all, your own clan, will you answer? I doubt it." Obito flinched at the subtle accusations Naruto heaped on him, but decided to act dumb and reply, "I don't know what you mean. You are confusing me with Madara. He was the one who saved me, helped me recover and then trained me after that fateful mission to Kanabai Bridge. It was Madara who attacked Konoha with the Kyuubi when you were born. It was Madara who helped Itachi slaughter the Uchiha clan." "Really? That's quite interesting. Then I have to focus all the resources at my disposal to finding and eliminating of the traitor, but that doesn't explain why you are controlling Yagura. Answer that question and I will answer how I know your identity. What do you say?" Naruto asked with a skeptical look. Obito nodded and said, "Kiri is the reason my teammate, the girl I loved, died. Nakamura Rin was transformed into the Sanbijin Shuriki with a seal designed to slowly fail and release the beast in Konoha. Kakashi team killed her in cold blood, instead of taking her to Minato-sensei. I am sure that he could have done something to save her." Naruto felt the raging emotion surging within the rogue Uchiha causing the blonde to give Obito a sad smile. "I can understand your position a bit, but did you ever question the situation? I find it a bit suspicious that Rin had become a Jinchuriki of the Sanbi when Yagura was already the Sanbi Jinchuriki. After all, Yagura was a bit elder to you guys and he has been a Jinchuriki since. He was barely 1 year old. Before I killed him, I used Ninshu to connect to him and read his memories. I can assure you that it was a setup, but by an outside party, not Kiri." Obito looked startled at the information. That was not something he was privy to. He was wondering why Zetsu didn't say anything about it, but decided that Zetsu may not have gathered such detailed information on Yagura. Then his eye hardened in contempt at the realization that Rin had died for nothing. "You should know that Kakashi has never been the same. He actually imitates your tendencies of lying and being late in your memory. He spends an inordinate amount of time staring at your name, Rin's name and my parents' names, all the while moping about in depression. Don't judge Kakashi too harshly for killing Rin. No one curses the events more than him." Obito narrowed his eye in annoyance and was about to comment when Naruto continued, "I am sure that if it was Sakura-chan and I in that position, I would have done the same as Kakashi. Sakura-chan wouldn't have wanted herself to be the reason Konoha was harmed. I can guarantee that Rin would have wanted the same thing and in fact, followed what she thought was the best course of action. I wouldn't be surprised if she had jumped in front of Kakashi's jutsu that killed her." Obito nodded with a thoughtful expression behind his orange spiral mask. "I see. Now that I think about it, Rin was a loyal kunoichi of Konoha and would have thought sacrificing herself would have been better than being the cause of Konoha's downfall. Unfortunately, that doesn't dismiss the sting of her death. I agree, but we should honor their sacrifices and try to make sure that their sacrifices weren't in vain. Not undo what they sacrificed to protect," Naruto said with a cold accusing tone causing Obito to shiver in fear. "I know that you lied to me, Obito, about Madara. The only reason I am letting you go is due to you being my father's student. I hope you wake up and realize that your path will only lead to pain for everyone, including yourself." Obito seethed in rage at Naruto's words, but as he was about to comment, he saw Naruto vanish into thin air again. Focusing his senses and his Sharingan, Obito tried to see if Naruto had put him under a genjutsu, but to his surprise, he found himself completely free of such influences. Giving off a dark chuckle, Obito glared at the place Naruto recently occupied and commented, "How would you know, Naruto? You haven't seen the truth of the world yet. Mark my words, your time in the world is numbered. I will come after you. Project Tsukinomi is the only path to salvation. With that said, Obito turned towards the place Naruto had reappeared before. The very space around him swirled inwards towards his chest as he was absorbed into the vortex. Naruto reappeared in front of his group, all of whom had shocked expressions on their faces. None of them could believe that Naruto had killed Yagura so easily while in full Bijou mode, and after saying that he would try and save the Sanbi Jinchuriki. Only Sakura was not surprised by the set of events. You were supposed to try and save Yagura, Baka. Why the hell did you kill him? Ah. Because I sensed that some part of his actions were his own, Naruto said, subtly motioning to a small vortex beside the group. Sakura raised an eyebrow but decided not to comment. Besides, I also found out who was controlling Yagura and Isabu. Everyone raised an eyebrow, or in Sakura's case, raised an eyebrow in surprise. Mei asked, who was the mastermind? A supposed dead traitor of Konoha by the name of Uchiha Madara, or so he claims. I can assure you that he is an Uchiha, though I can't say if he is truly Madara or another rogue Uchiha masquerading as him. Naruto said with a frown. Sakura narrowed her eyes at what Naruto was saying. This was not part of the plan they concocted with Kurama. Naruto was going off script, just like he does during fights. So it is Uchiha Itachi? But that can't be right. Yagura has been under control for much longer than Itachi has been a Nukenin. Ao stated with confusion. I can assure you that it wasn't Itachi. After all, I only sensed a single Sharingan from him. Last reports state that Itachi still has 2 Sharingan. Besides, the pattern of the Sharingan was different from the records of Itachi's Mangekyo. Whoever he is, he has either been declared dead, or he was never a registered Konoha shinobi. Ow, Mei and Jiraiya shared a look before nodding in understanding. This was important information. Jiraiya spoke up, this is very concerning. Very few Uchiha have the ability to control to a Bijou and its Jinchuriki. None other than Madara has been known to succeed. Not even the prodigious Uchiha Itachi. He doesn't have the willpower to subvert the will of a Bijou to such a degree. Maybe he can suppress a Bijou for a time, but that's the limit of his abilities. Mei, Chujiro and Ao nodded as Naruto spoke up. Anyways, Mei, you and Jiraiya march forward to Kiri with our combined forces and take over. If anyone resists, though I don't think any would, just tell them that it's either submit or be regretfully terminated. I am sure that many of the protests will vanish at that declaration. Let them know that Yagura and his treacherous counselors are dead. Jiraiya, you take control of my teams and escort Mei to Kiri. What about you, Naruto? Turning to his pink-haired teammate, Naruto grinned and said, I have an appointment with Mitsunari. I should be back by tomorrow evening with Kakashi. Jiraiya, make sure that our teams are ready to leave on the dawn of the 3rd day from tomorrow. Jiraiya nodded and reached out a hand to catch the scroll Naruto threw at him. Opening it, Jiraiya saw that it was an official declaration of temporary transfer of command to him from Naruto. Nodding in satisfaction, Jiraiya said, feels like old times. Your father used to do the same from time to time. Then I will be off. Good luck with the organization of the new regime, Naruto said with a foxy grin before he was engulfed in a golden chakra cloak. In a flash of yellow, Naruto had already vanished from sight. Did he just teleport out of here with the Hiraishin? Ao asked with a nod tone, causing Sakura to giggle and comment, not really. He just ran away. I am sure that he can easily rival the Yondaime Reikage in pure speed while using the Kyuubi's chakra. Everyone, including Jiraiya and Nico, stared owlishly at the pink-haired girl before Jiraiya finally snapped out of the funk and said, alright people, we have a lot to do. Let's head back to camp. We have a possibly hostile shinobi village to take over. It had been nearly an hour since Naruto had left when the sight of Mitsunari's castle came into view. All around the high walls of castle, patrols of female samurai archers and male samurai swordsmen were seen keeping a strict vigil. As he approached the massive gates of the castle, an arrow flew near him. A warning shot. With a grin, Naruto plucked the still-flying arrow out of the air and came to a stop in front of the gate. Twirling the arrow in between his fingers, Naruto called out, I hope you have a good reason for shooting this at me. I wonder what Mitsunari will say about this transgression against my clan. Shut your mouth, mongrel. How dare you utter Daimyo-sama's given name? Answer now, or be killed for your insolence. A female samurai called out, wearing a slightly more ornate armor than the rest, signifying her being a squad captain. Hotari. How dare you insult Naruto-sama? WHO gave you the permission to shoot your mouth again? An angry voice shouted out behind her, causing the woman to quake in fear. Turning around and bowing low, Hotori started stammering out apologies. "Please forgive me, Shiki-sama. I didn't realize that he was Uzumaki-sama. Although he was one of Yager's men." "Are you blind, Hotori? Do you not see the specialized Hitayate on his head, the Uzu Hitayate tied on his upper right arm and the Konoha Hitayate around his waist? Besides, a description of Naruto-sama along with a picture was supplied by Kakashi-san to all guards. Are you telling me that you have not checked the memos? You have shamed my family by your disgraceful actions." "No harm done, Shiki-san. I find it quite reassuring that Hotori-san is so fanatically loyal. I could sense her emotions. You won't find a more loyal retainer if you tried." Shiki nodded as Naruto jumped up to the wall and then turned to Hotori and said, "And you should learn to curb your impulsive tendencies. I may not take offense, but others may not be so lenient. You could easily start an international incident, and lose your life and maybe even condemn your family to the wrath of the one you insulted. I understand, Uzumaki-sama. I will strive to improve myself. Thank you for not taking offense at my insolence," Hotori said, kneeling on the floor and bowing her head. Naruto just waved it off and turned to Shiki as the golden cloak of chakra receded back into his body. "If you are here, Naruto-sama, can I conclude that the war is over?" Shiki asked with a hopeful tone. Naruto smiled and nodded before motioning of Shiki to lead the way. With a bow, Shiki turned and walked into the castle with Naruto following behind. All around them, the samurai were bowing. "No," Naruto stated quietly but forcefully, causing Mitsunari to flinch. Taking a shaking breath, Mitsunari asked, "Then can I assume that Uzu has not forgiven our family's previous transgression against yours? Is that why I decline our offer of peace?" "Not at all. I don't let the past rule the present. As to why I won't accept your offer, I find it barbaric. Forcing your own daughter into what is just glorified slavery is something I detest," Naruto said with a venomous tone, causing Mitsunari to flinch. "Naruto-sama, if I may?" Shiki asked with a tense tone and waited as Naruto stared at him for a moment before nodding for Shiki to continue. Letting out a relieved sigh, Shiki said, "Much like you, I also detest making women into concubines. While I will contest my father's decision, as I love my sister very much and would love to see her married off than be a concubine, but due my family's past indiscretions against yours, we didn't have the courage to offer her hand in marriage to you. Please forgive our weakness." As Shiki bowed to Naruto, the blonde-haired Jinchuriki laughed and said, "If you had offered her hand in marriage instead of as a concubine, I would have been honored to accept it, but only if your sister was amiable. I will not accept her if her heart isn't in it." "Thank you, Naruto-sama. Please forgive my insolence. Also, I humbly offer my daughter's hand in marriage to you, if she is amiable." Naruto narrowed his eyes at Mitsunari for a moment, causing the older daimyo to nervously twitch in his seat. After a few moments, Naruto nodded, "I wish to speak with your daughter." "As you wish, Naruto-sama," Mitsunari said as Shiki stood up and left in a hurry. As the two daimyo waited, they sipped on the tea a maid had handed them. After a few minutes, Shiki walked into the room with a girl wearing light form-fitting leather armor reinforced with strips of metal with fine Fuinjutsu Shiki engraved into them. Narrowing his eyes, Naruto stared at the seals for a few moments before turning to Mitsunari with an unimpressed look. "You are using Uzumaki reinforcement seals? Do you have permission to use them?" Mitsunari, Shiki and the girl looked startled at the sudden heavy presence Naruto was emanating, but before anyone could comment, Naruto said, "Anyways, I will let it slide as this seal isn't something we monopolize on. I would hope that the crafter isn't teaching Uzumaki seals without my clan's permission?" Shiki let out a soft sigh of relief and said, "You have nothing to fear on that front, Naruto-sama. The crafter is an old woman. While he was young, he was honored to be taught by a Uzumaki seal master. I will have her come meet you with all the licenses your clan had issued her." Naruto nodded and turned his attention back to the girl. She was a couple of years older than him, with soft wavy brown hair falling to her mid-back. She had pale green eyes, the color of fresh leaves. Her skin was slightly tanned, and from the calluses on her hands, Naruto deduced that the girl trained hard with an naginata strapped to her back. She had a heart-shaped face with soft features, giving her a kind yet stern look. Focusing his emotion-sensing abilities he got from Kurama, Naruto felt the slight apprehension and happiness from her, along with a bit of admiration directed towards her brother and a bit of loathing towards her father. Standing up, Naruto bowed slightly before saying, "It is an honor to be in the presence of a beautiful warrior as you, milady. I am Uzumaki Naruto, at your service." Nervously smiling, the girl returned the bow with a deeper one and said, "No, I am honored to be in your presence, Naruto-sama. I am Otohime." A beautiful name for a beautiful flower, though I know that you have quite the thorns. I hope that I don't get pricked. Is your singing voice as beautiful as your name? Naruto said with a calming smile, causing the girl to blush in embarrassment. Naruto could feel her happiness increase at his comments. Thank you for the compliments, Naruto-sama. Please call me Naruto, I don't like my friends call me such. May I consider you my friend? Naruto said, causing the girl's apprehension to nearly disappear. Of course Naruto-kun. Please call me Hisui. All my friends call me that. Naruto nodded with a smile before saying, unfortunately, this meeting isn't a casual one. I am sure that you already know of your father's intentions? Otohime nodded, her apprehension increasing. I am not interested in such barbaric customs. In return, your brother plucked up the courage to subtly hint of changing the intentions to a marriage. I accepted with the condition that we will be wed only if you are amiable. Please, don't feel pressured. The decision must be your own. I promise you that no one will force you. At that, Mitsunari felt a shiver run down his spine. It felt like the Shinigami had placed a hand on his shoulder. I plan to leave for Kiri tomorrow after lunch. I leave you until then to come up with a decision. Don't fear to consider rejecting me. I would prefer that you accept wholeheartedly. Even if you decline, Mizu will not suffer the consequences. Besides, we are friends now. I always protect my friends. Everyone waited for the girl to respond to the revelation, with only Naruto being privy to her thoughts by virtue of sensing her emotions. At first, she felt surprised, but that slowly changed to contemplation before a seed of determination sprouted into a massive tree. Most of all, her happiness was nearly blinding, as was her admiration towards him. Nodding to herself, Otohime said, I don't need more time, Naruto-kun. I believe that I won't have a better suitor than you. I have heard rumors of your personality, the kindness and righteousness. Now I have confirmation of them. I will be honored to be one of your wives. Besides, I am not selfish enough to not do as much as I can for my people. Naruto nodded with a smile. Then I am sure that you would like to accompany me back to Konoha. Please have your servants seal away whatever you wish to take with you. As I said, we will be leaving tomorrow after lunch. As you wish, Naruto-kun. But before I leave, can we meet this evening for dinner at my private dining room? I wish get more familiar with the real you, not the rumors that abound on the winds, Otohime said with smile. As you wish, Hisui-chan. I will meet you for dinner this evening. Please take this sealing scroll. It is modified to hold 7 times more than standard ones. I am sure that it will be of great use to you, Naruto said, handing over a storage scroll with the Uzumaki clan symbol on the sides. Taking the scroll with a smile, Otohime bowed to her brother and Naruto before leaving. As evening was approaching, the guards May had posted at the gates of Kiri were lazing about in the sudden peace that they were enjoying. As they lazily played cards, one of the guards turned towards the road. Suddenly, the guard dropped the cards and rushed towards the window of the hut and picked up a spyglass. Peering through the spyglass, the man saw that a large convoy was coming with the symbol of the Mizu daimyo being gaily displayed. Placing the spyglass on its holder, the man turned towards his companion and stuttered out, "Get news to May-sama, the daimyo approaches with his entourage. Naruto-sama is probably with him." That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.